All righty. Welcome to the annual meeting of the membership of the Rocky Mountain Athletic Trainers Association. Be a good user of technology, Jim. Down? Oh, down. Down to go forward. That makes sense. So we'll officially call this meeting to order. Huge thank you and shout out to the state of Utah, to the ACS committee. Thank you for being fabulous hosts for us. It's been a great weekend. Will continue to be a great weekend. We're really happy to be here in Utah. It's been awesome. The weather's been great. Hopefully it holds out so all of us that aren't here in Utah permanently can get home, but it's been amazing. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Edgerson. Up here in front of you, hopefully not needing Kevlar today. If I have not met you yet, humbled to serve as your RMATA president. My name is Jim Turk. Joining me up here on the stage here, Jenna Walker, our secretary, David Messman, the Arizona state representative, Jeb Davis, the Colorado state representative, Aaron Stem, the New Mexico state representative, Marcus Homer, the Utah state representative, and Zach Olivares, the Wyoming state representative. Conspicuously absent with us today, and I wanted to mention this, Tasha Anderson, our treasurer, had some health issues come up and wasn't able to travel with us, but she was here in spirit and here via Zoom for all of our meetings this weekend, and so I'll be kind of speaking a little bit on her behalf, but she's kind of sad to have missed this. This is, like for all of you, this is our chance to get together and see our RMATA board family every year, just like it's our chance to see all of you as our RMATA ACS family every year. And so we miss her. We hope she's doing well. She is. Everything's fine. Things are good. She just wasn't able to travel to this. So Tasha, we're thinking about you and wish you were here, but we know you're on the mend. At this time, I want to kind of turn things over to Jenna Walker, our secretary, and she's going to kind of report on some things from her role as secretary, talk about a couple of items.
Okay, welcome. Good morning. Thanks for joining us in Provo. I hope you guys are having a good time here at the ACS and you're learning something, you're meeting somebody new, and you are networking and having a good time. That's what it's all about. So thank you for being here. I just want to talk about membership. So if you can see, it is broken down by state. It's broken down by membership type. And then at the bottom is the grand totals and then the 2023 comparison. So in comparison, we are down a couple hundred, 150, whatever that is, members. But when I was putting that together this morning, so this is real-time numbers as of this morning, what I found was our certified numbers did not drop. What was dropping was our student numbers. So I think that the majority of the overall comparison between 2024 to 2023, the reason why that number is down is because the student numbers are down. I want to talk again about symposium registration. This year was much better because I explained this last year, so I'm going to just explain it again, and hopefully it'll just get better each year. I had some people reach out to me and say, I just joined NATA. I cannot register for the symposium. It says I'm not in the system, or I get an error. What's going on? The reason why is because it's not real-time communication. So when you go to join the NATA, that does not automatically put you into the CVent system. They're two separate systems ran by two separate organizations. So to get into the CVent system, yes, you do have to be an NATA member, but then I have to upload everybody's name into the CVent system. So that's why there might be some confusion, like, why can't I register right now? It's because I have to go in there and manually upload the new names. So it does take some time. I usually do that weekly. Once I get closer to a symposium, I do it every other day or more if needed. And then, yeah. Get involved with the RMATA. We love to see new faces. We love to see people be involved in leadership and committees. We are always looking for new faces, old faces, it doesn't matter. We just want you to be involved and be included. You can scan this QR code and you can fill out the form. We do look at that. So if you're like, oh man, I've done this like last year and 2 years ago and nobody's reaching out to me, it just might be because there's not an opening. We've gotten better this year at following our policies and procedures and looking at term limits of the chairs and who's on the committee so that hopefully we can generate some new faces and get more people involved that way. So if you have any questions with volunteering leadership, you can reach out to me, and my email is listed there at secretary@RMATA. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to hand it back over to Jim, and Jim's going to do the treasurer's report.
We just had a glitch in the matrix there, it looked like. Before I jump in and kind of speak on behalf of Tasha, and I'm going to do this periodically throughout this morning's meeting, I also want to call to everybody's attention, and we do this a lot at this event, but we've got some fabulous sponsors that help us do all the things that we do in this association, not just this weekend, but year round. So this is a snapshot of some of our sponsors, and you'll see more of our sponsors a little bit later. If you have notifications turned on your Cvent app, about half an hour or so, your device got blown up with notifications that you won a prize. If you did not yet turn on notifications on your Cvent app, you can, but you will have already missed that push notification that's gone out. So go to the announcements page of that. There's a list of names that are there. All of our vendors provided something to literally give away to attendees at this meeting. And so our ACS crew, and specifically Sherry Lampin, our fabulous sponsorships coordinator, just created a random name generator, pulled the names digitally out of the hat, and you get a prize. And so when you see your name on that list, go to the registration table. They will give you what you've gotten, and please, please, please send a word of thank you, send a note, an email, a text, or whatever to that vendor, and just let them know how impactful their sponsorship for us in the RMATA is. We couldn't do what we do without them. I am not Tasha Anderson, and I am not our treasurer, so I want to acknowledge that up front. So I am happy to entertain questions about some of this that comes up, but I may not be the best person to answer some of those, so I'll answer what I can, and when I can't, I will certainly pass those questions on to Tasha, but also share her contact information with you as well, and she's happy to answer any and all of this. We want to kind of give you sort of a high-level perspective on kind of where we are from a financial perspective. Really the kind of the three main pots that we talk about financially in our association is kind of our current cash balance, and then the two different but connected investment accounts that we've got in the association. So looking at these numbers, and they're just numbers and they don't provide a whole lot of context, so I'll try to share a little bit of that context with you. We currently today have a cash balance of roughly $53,000. And in terms of sort of best practices for associations like ours and groups like ours, basically we hold that cash in a liquid state so that we can operate and function and deal with all the various things that are going on, both income and expense for the association. So that's why that cash balance looks the way that it does. We've got two different investment accounts that are managed by a great investment advisor for us. Our scholarship account balance right now, it sits around $168,000, almost $170,000, and then we've got a close to $300,000 balance in our general investment account, and they are doing very well because they are being very well managed, not by us. We are being advised very well by someone who is doing a fabulous job for us, and that's one of the things that we want to be good stewards of all of our resources because they're not ours and they're not yours, they're all of ours, and so we rely on professionals to help us do that. Out of that scholarship account in this fiscal year, we're going to be awarding approximately $14,000 in scholarship awards to support members of our association. But you may look at those numbers and see roughly we're a $500,000 entity as the RMATA, which is fabulous. And having conversations in the boardroom, both in the months leading up to this event and then all this weekend, we are in a really great position as an association in comparison to some of our peers in this profession. And so I think that is a testament to all of us and the membership health that we've got that Jenna talked about, that yes, our membership is dropping, but not even close to what it's doing across the country in other districts and in other states. And it's typical to see some of those student fluctuations because of lots of things. So, the membership is stable, and because of that, our finances are stable. And so because of that, we as a board, we feel fortunate to be in a position where we need to stop the squirreling away rainy day kind of fund, and we've got to start figuring out, all right, what is it that we do to serve our members that we have been put in these places to serve, and how can we leverage our financial position and our membership health to really move the needle and get things going forward. So these are kind of the numbers, along with the numbers that Jenna presented from the secretary perspective. And what I want to do is kind of give this as sort of context to where we want to go from here. So at this point, are there any questions about membership or kind of the finances that I or Jenna can sort of attempt to answer? Awesome. So a couple more of our sponsors. Again, a reminder, check that announcement. If your name is on that list, go get your prize. And thank you to our sponsor, please, and thank you. From my perspective as president, what I want to kind of talk about, and you'll notice if you were here last year in terms of my report, this is going to have a very similar feel to it. I'm using very similar terminology. I want to talk about how is it that we're going to leverage our position that I just mentioned in terms of our membership health and our financial health. How are we going to move the needle and advance what we call our why? Our why that we decided as an association back in 2018 when we did a board retreat. We said that the RMATA exists to inspire our members to act so that they'll grow professionally. That's why we exist as an organization, and that's the why of the board, right? That's what we're working to do. So what is it that we can do to advance that why, right? And then we are in a new normal, whatever that means, right? It's becoming clear of what that looks like. So how do we embrace that, lean into that, and advance our why, leverage our position within this context of this new normal? So I want to kind of just touch on each of those three topics just very briefly and just kind of give you some updates as to the work that the board has been doing since the last time we kind of met with you all publicly back in Indianapolis in June. And there's been work that is continuing with this. There's some exciting news that I'm happy to share with you right now. And then also there's some likely exciting news coming that we're still fleshing out the details on, so we're not ready to quite share all of it yet, but the conversations are happening, and I'll allude to some of those. So in terms of leveraging our health, our membership health, our financial health, I'm really excited to share with all of you today that at our board meeting that we adjourned yesterday, the board moved to fund a $15,000 legislative grant program effective this fiscal year. Now, we hope that we never have to use any of that monies, but we know the reality that legislative things can flip on a dime, and I hope that Val and the NATA doesn't take this as a shot. They are not quite in the position that we are in terms of being able to support states at the legislative level. State legislative grants are not a thing right now, and unless things pretty drastically change at the NATA level from a financial health perspective, they're probably not coming back soon. So we'll support our states within our association. Now, not to the level that the NATA has the leverage to do that, and they do have some resources to support those, but we want to be able to support all of you and support the profession legislatively. And so what those dollars will look to do, we're not exactly sure. It will look to support Hit the Hill Day efforts. It will look to support helping lobbying efforts. It will look to, should there be an emergency or a crisis that comes up, we don't have to sort of ruminate as a board and figure out what's going on. We've got access to this and we can just go, right? So your state representatives, we're going to be working to kind of flesh out the specific details of how it is that we award those legislative grants, what's the process that goes into that so that it's equitable, that it's fair, but it's timely, it's impactful. So I can tell you that we are funding legislative grants right now. Exactly what that's going to look like, we're going to flesh out those details between now and June. So cross your fingers that we don't need to access it between now and June, but we've got the ability to at emergency notice if we need to. The other thing that I'm excited to share with you, because we are in a good financial position, we are capable of supporting some of our related organizations. And the NATA Research and Education Foundation is an important partner in our profession and an important supporter of all the work that goes on to advance the profession. And so we are fortunate to be in a position where we as an association, which means all of us as members, can support the foundation. And we decided to sponsor or be one of the sponsors at the Pickleball and Pints event in New Orleans at the NATA annual meeting. So we will be one of the sponsors for that, and we're happy to have done that. It was a $1,500 sponsorship level that we decided on as a board. So those are the definite things that I can tell you we're doing to sort of leverage our financial position. But I also want to tell you that the conversation has not ended in the boardroom relative to our financial health. We are aware that we're sitting on close to $300,000 in an investment account that is growing by the day, and we want to do things with that money now, but we want to do them that make sure that they have an impact to our membership and to our profession. And so we want to be careful and cautious with how we leverage that position so that we don't overextend ourselves and put ourselves in a bad position. So on that topic, if you have ideas, because we are not geniuses and we are not experts, we are just like all of you, right? If you have ideas of how we can have an impact on you as a member, on your clinical practice, on this profession, on your state, whatever, please reach out to any or all of us. We need to hear from you how we can help you and help this profession, because we've got the resources to do it. We need help in figuring out what's the best way to do that. In terms of advancing our why, right? We want to inspire our members to act so that they grow professionally. Valerie mentioned this in her NATA update. You probably saw the call that came out roughly 2 months or so ago. Actually, no, it was right around the end of the year, of previous year. Time flies by. We have created a task force that is exploring equity, diversity, inclusion, and to me, those words, I'm going to soapbox here for a little bit, so hopefully indulge me. I don't like the idea of DEI, because DEI makes it sound like it's all one thing. They're all connected, right? But diversity is diversity, and equity is equity, and inclusivity is inclusivity. And I think the goal of what we're trying to accomplish is we want all members to feel welcome, to feel supported, to feel like they have a place, to feel like they have a voice, to feel like they have an advocate and they can be an advocate. And so we wanted to hear from our membership of what is it that we as a board need to do to support those efforts to improve the climate, the culture, the inclusivity, the equity, the diversity within our association. And so I put out a call, and I'm happy to say that I have 13 people that answered that call and said, yeah, I want to be a part of those conversations. We have a task force that is formed to explore those ideas. Those are the kinds of things we're talking about in terms of advancing our why. It's not about just this meeting. It's not about forming a committee. It's not about spending money. We need to know what we need to know so we can make this all better. So I hate it when people do this, and so I'm going to do it anyway. If you are one of those folks that is serving on that task force and you're in the room, would you please just stand up, wave, say hi, just so people can kind of put a name with a face? Kevin, yeah, you're kind of pretty. Yeah, Glenn, thank you. Alyssa. If you see them in the halls, grab them. Jess, you just walked in the room. Yeah, Jess is a part of the group as well. Yeah. Just put you on the spot there, just like class. That's what you get for showing up late. That group is basically just trying to get a sense of the pulse of the association and what is it that we need to do to improve our diversity? What is it that we need to do to improve our inclusivity? What is it that is inequitable that's out there in the profession? And that may be things that at your clinical site, that may be things for you personally, all those kinds of things we're hearing from them, and those are things we're doing to advance our why. All of the other conversations on that advancing our why are still kind of ongoing. There are no really reportable action items on those just yet. But know that the intent of advancing that why, and this has been I'll call it my passion project since I've been in this role, is there are 300 people, ballpark it, at this event out of what Jenna just told us, 1,700 or so members, right? it used to be a third of the membership came to this. Now we're seeing maybe it's a quarter-ish of the membership. There is 75% of our membership that doesn't come to this event, and that is totally fine. That is great. But there is 75% of the membership that, just like the quarter of the membership that is here, that is a part of this group. And what is it that we can do to support everybody beyond just this event? This event is awesome and great, and we will always do this. And all of you are here, and I'm hoping you're feeling the buzz and the fun that we have here. This is great, but it's got to be more than this. And so those are some of the conversations we're having in the board about what is it that we do to take this to everybody else, because they're not coming to us, and that's fine, that's great. We're going to go to them, however it is we can do that. So again, if you have ideas on how we can do that, let us know. The last thing, and this is the most exciting thing for me to talk about in terms of leaning into the new normal, it deals with this event. This event has been, I'm trying to think back. For me, I've been a part of this event in some way, shape, or form since 2009 in some capacity. And so I've seen this event kind of grow and shift and change. And yes, the pandemic changed this event forever, and that's fine. We have a new normal on what this event is. So we have not yet announced a location for next year because we didn't know what this event was going to look like. We were contractually obligated to this event, and so that's why we are here. But we were pretty intentional in sort of dragging our feet and saying we're not ready to talk about signing on the dotted line for a venue for 2025 yet until we get a better sense of how 2024 is going to go. We think we knew how it was going to look, and yeah, our projections were pretty spot on. It's going to be smaller. Right? It's going to be more intimate. It's going to be, more about social engagement, conversations, the hallway chats, the barroom conversations, all those guys. It's about that in addition to the great learning and education that goes on here. And so to lean into this new normal, if you're not aware, the NATA annual meeting in 2025 is going to be in Orlando. Right? And so that is very, very attractive for probably some of you in this room, right? And you're probably going to choose Orlando over the RMATA annual meeting, and awesome. That's great. We love that. That's supporting our partner and our colleague in this, right? But we expect that is probably going to have an impact on our event, and that's fine. We want to plan for that. We have not been to the state of Wyoming for this event in over 20 years. Over 20 years, we have not been to one of our 5 states in this association, right? But when this meeting happens, traditionally, it's in the spring, right? It is going to be a challenge to get to the state of Wyoming this time of year, potentially. You either may not get there, or you may not get out of there, right? Or it could be beautiful, it could be perfect. We're not willing to roll the dice on that. So what I'm pleased to announce for everybody here is tentatively on these dates, and we have not yet signed the contract, but we're tentatively on these dates, June 6th through the 8th of 2025, we will be in Casper, Wyoming. Now, as all of you that don't live in Wyoming, which is all but probably 2 of you in this room, just kidding, and I wish Chris Mathewson was here to tell Jenna to carry her water, but and that's an inside joke for those of you. It goes back several years to the ACS where Chris made what he thought was an innocuous comment about the women of Wyoming not carrying their water, because the context of it was he was talking about, it was an example about leadership roles and those kinds of things, but it came across very poorly, and Chris to this day is still embarrassed about it, and we give him a hard time all the time about that. So anyway, before you all freak out about the fact that how am I going to get to Wyoming in June, the wheels are already spinning for all of us. The ACS committee is fully on board with this. The board is fully on board with this. We've got some really cool ideas. As an example, right? It's hard to get to Casper, Wyoming if you're going to fly there. There are flights that come in and out of there from Salt Lake City, from Denver, but they're relatively small regional commuter jet kinds of things. And so, yeah, it's going to be a challenge. But it's real easy to get in and out of Denver. And Denver is a 4-hour bus ride away from Casper, Wyoming, right? It's pretty easy to get in and out of Salt Lake City, or if you're in this area, right? And it's a 6-hour bus ride from Salt Lake City. We are working on creating some fun sort of transportation packages that we can keep affordable, cost-effective, to get you there. Again, This isn't for everybody, and that's totally fine. Think of this as the alternative to Orlando, right? We're not trying to compete with Orlando. We're trying to give you an option. I think we'll do it in a little more, maybe affordable way. Those of you that were a part of the event in 2019 at Weekapaw outside of Phoenix, that had a kind of resort feel. We tried to do some activities, some excursions, leverage some outdoor spaces, tried to make some fun out of the event. Think of this as Weekapaw in Wyoming, right? We're going to do activities. We're going to do excursions. I'm committing to you all publicly today. I'm going to figure out a way for us to have a golf tournament at some point connected to that event. I would love for that to be some sort of sponsorship activity for the foundation or the PAC or something. But we're going to do a golf tournament because I'm a massive golfer and I've never golfed in the state of Wyoming. And so I'm going to check that box for me. But what a better way to do that. So those are the things we're thinking about in terms of this event. We will formalize the dates as soon as we can sign on the dotted line, but plan on June 6th through the 8th at this point in Casper, Wyoming. And don't freak out about getting there. We will figure out ways to get you there if you want to get there. All right, a couple more kind of shout outs to our vendors, and you'll notice one of the vendors on this page specifically is kind of up in the top center, the Athletic Edge. They entered into an agreement with us, Sherry, 3 years ago? 3 years ago, and really came up with a cool idea, and so we were able to kind of pilot this. It's worked fabulously well. The Athletic Edge, in lieu of a sort of a monetary sponsorship, has gifted us 10 portable treatment tables for the use at this event every year. And literally, it's every year they give us 10, they say, here's 10 tables. And so what they said was, do whatever you want with those tables. And so we are going to give away all 10 of those tables right now to 10 deserving members who can really benefit from that table that's going to advance their clinical practice, it's going to support their patients, it's going to advance the profession, it's going to have an impact. So I have the 10 names here. I'm going to read them out. If you are here, please come up and see Sherry. We want to give them some love on the social medias. And I'm kind of like Corey, I don't know all that, I didn't know MySpace wasn't a thing still. So apparently is that not Cap, or is that, I don't know it is Cap. No Cap. Anyway, all right. So enough of exposing my naivete on that. So the first winner of a table is Alyssa Fredericks. Alyssa, are you here? Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That's probably a good idea. I got to pull up a different list here. So Alyssa Fredericks is in the state of Colorado, but kind of her clinical practice is on a reservation area working with the Native American population, kind of a remote area, travels a lot, and so this is going to have a huge impact on her clinical practice, so we're really excited for that. Michael Green. Michael, are you here? Nominated by a Kyle C. Michael is at Western Colorado University, kind of down in Gunnison, it sounds odd to say sort of a remote area of Colorado. It is a remote area of Colorado, and Gunnison is beautiful, but it's a tough environment, and so it poses a lot of challenges for him in terms of the ability to get care to his patients easily, and so Michael is a deserving recipient of these tables. How about David Trung in the state of Utah? David, is he here? He's not here. At Kearns High School here in Utah, we're told does a tremendous amount of work with razor-thin resources, and so we're happy that on behalf of Athletic Edge, we can kind of help advance the work that they're doing there. You probably know this next winner, Lisa Walker. Come on up. Lisa may not necessarily think, and you may not necessarily think that Lisa needs a table, but I can't think of a harder worker and a more staunch advocate for not just athletic training, but specifically for athletic training in the secondary schools. I consider Lisa a dear friend, but I think she's more than deserving of this. I know that this table is going to have an impact for the patients and athletes at Springville High School and really the state of Utah. So we're excited for Lisa to get a table. Yeah. John Young. Is John Young in the room? Yeah, John. John is at Payson High School here in Utah. it's a very small Title I school, working hard to do great things for his patients and his athletes, and so we're hoping this table will help you continue that work. I know I saw him earlier this weekend, but I don't necessarily see him in the room, but we'll see. Is Rory hiring here? Is that how? Rory, get your butt in here. Somebody text him. Yeah, he's here somewhere. He better get out here. Rory. Rory works at Spanish Fork High School, and Rory, has been a champion at this event for several years, and just kind of rolled off the committee a couple years ago. Yeah, Rory. Really excited to see how the Spanish Fork community is going to benefit from that table. Don't take it yet. It's a prop, man. Melissa Mendini. There you are. I thought I saw you back there at Cedar High School. Melissa's been at Cedar High for 10 years is what we're told, and does not have a table that she can take out portably to events, venues, those kinds of things. And we're excited as heck to change that. And on behalf of Athletic Edge, we're happy to support that. What about Sierra Reich in Colorado? Sierra here? Sierra works kind of in the outpatient clinic sort of setting, but also on the side does some work to kind of some freelance work, really to support athletes and patients, and we're excited to be able to help her out. Kevin Margarucci, come on up. So Kevin works at USA Hockey, and I know you're thinking, well, USA Hockey, what the heck does USA Hockey need in terms of this? USA Hockey is a nonprofit, right? And so they don't necessarily have resources beyond resources like you might think. And so they often rely on where they go, especially at the youth level. They just rely on whatever's there. And it's not good, and we can impact it, we can change that, and so we've got a table for him. And then lastly, Cami Brost. Cami, are you here? Come on up. So Cami in Wyoming, I'm loving the fact that we're able to support the state of Wyoming, because sometimes they feel like they're left out of the conversation because they're just Wyoming and they're just up there and they only have 70 members or whatever. So Cami was nominated by Zach, our Utah rep, but also coincidentally Sherry texted me and said, hey, have you guys made decisions on the tables, because we got to consider Cami on this. So it was so she got a lot of advocacy for that. So those are the 10 tables. Those are the 10 table winners. We're excited as heck to give those away, and we're really, really thankful to Athletic Edge for allowing us to do that, and we will do that every year. Please, 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 every single one of these 10 tables that we gave away were nominated for that table by a member or by themselves. So please, 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 if you think somebody needs something, be an advocate for them, and if you think you need something, be an advocate for yourself. At this point, what I want you to hear from is each of our 5 state representatives. They just want to kind of talk about the things that are going on in their respective states, and then we'll have a little bit of fun when we're done with that. So first to the dais here, we'll bring the representative from Arizona, David Messman.
I'll keep this brief for you.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
Hello and welcome, and I too am very excited about going to Wyoming next summer. We have a fabulous event in Arizona every year. We had actually capped our attendees because of fire code to our venue space. As you can see, we have a 3-day format. First day is high school session, sports medicine conference with HOSA. The second day is a live in-person, and then the third day is live virtual with all on-demand content. We had and did not expect 300 high school students to attend our sports medicine conference on that Friday. It continues to grow. Last year we had 200, this year 300, and they are more than excited to be there and attend. We also had 300 total attendees at our live in-person event on Saturday, and then more again on the virtual aspect. This year we also had a great outpouring of support from our sponsors as well, and vendors that were in attendance, with about $30,000 raised. Much of that also goes to our legislative efforts in the state of Arizona through a casino night event that we do. I can't say thank you enough to the sponsors for here at RMATA, for those that support every state, including ours. Last thing I'll leave you with, we are in a election cycle every year in Arizona, as we have transitioned to having a continuous election so that we don't have all board members roll off at once. This year we will have a special election for our secretary position. Our secretary was a secretary-elect as of last year. Unfortunately for us, but great for him, he got a phenomenal job working with Live Golf and decided to leave us for Vegas. So we do have that position available. It will just be a 2.5 year term as that gets elected in there. But we also have president, as I'll be rolling off of the board, having served for my 2 terms, and we'll also have an at-large position available. So that is our quick and brief update from Arizona.
Hopefully a quicker update from Colorado. We're really pleased to announce that we've added a board position this year as part of our EEP effort. Miss Hannah Grace West from Northern Colorado has joined as a student representative for our board, and she's doing a fantastic job. Please save the date. Our 2024 ACS is going to be held June 1st in Golden, Colorado. We'll have 2 arms of that. One is in person, and then we'll have an online version as well. The online version will be available to all athletic trainers across the country. For those of you that have already signed up for our Capitol Hill Day, we learned this morning that the Colorado legislature suspended all activities, and so we're canceling that event. Be on the lookout for a reschedule as they resume. For those of you in the secondary school, we have a robust survey that'll be going out very soon. We've approved some incentives for completion. Those incentives are 2 free registrations to 1, the in-person ACS, 1, the online ACS, and then 3 $100 gift cards. So please, if you're a secondary school athletic trainer in Colorado, keep that on your horizon. In addition, we are going to be sponsoring a governmental affairs fundraising effort. Our GAC chair, JoJo Hudging, is putting together a silent auction, and so we'll darken your digital doorstep soon with that. And then lastly, our honors and awards deadline is approaching, and so if you know any deserving colleagues out there, please get on the website and nominate or apply for scholarships. We have scholarships available to you students in the room. And then lastly, the Cat Pack, if you haven't availed yourself yet, it's an easy donation route. You can go to our website, click on the link, and big thanks to our 2024 Cat Pack contributors, Mr. Jason McWilliams, Trev Muth, Sherry Lampin, and Shannon Courtney. Thanks to you all.
Not a whole lot of news out of New Mexico. We will be having our annual clinical symposium June 7th through 9th with golf tournament on the 6th, and that'll be in Albuquerque. We also kind of have rolling elections. We will be having elections for president, as I will be terming out our northern rep and southern rep. One thing that didn't make it on the slide, we had a Capitol Hill Day February 8th. It's a short session. We didn't have any active legislation. So it's just kind of reinforcing those relationships, shaking hands, staying relevant, staying visible. And that's really kind of it in New Mexico.
All right, thank you, Utah, for showing up to the ACS this year. Fun seeing all of you. There's our board of directors on top there. It was an election year, Myself and Craig Switchler, our vice president, we ran unopposed, and we'll be starting a second term. That being said, our secretary, Sarah, who I think is here, there was a close vote on that part of the election, and Sarah did retain her second term for secretary. We will be, 2 more years, we'll be going through another election cycle. Last December, we had our UATA annual meeting down at Utah Tech University in St. George, and St. George delivered with a beautiful sunny day in December. So it was fun seeing about a quarter of our membership down there for our annual meeting. The next meeting is going to be back up north in Ogden at Weber State University. That'll be the first Saturday of December. So we're looking forward to that. We're trying to plan some events like we did this last year in St. George. A couple things that we've done here that I just want to mention for advocacy and engagement connection is our secondary schools committee. They held a summer symposium this last year, went off really well, and they're going to plan on doing that again here in 2024. So kudos to our secondary schools committee who's working hard to get that going really strong. Also, another thing that came up, there was a member that saw a need or a request. He's part of HOSA, and he brought it to the board, and we're going to be an official UATA sponsor at our Utah HOSA event this year, at their annual event. So this will be the first time we're doing that. Hopefully we can get a lot of good response. We got volunteers ready to help with a booth, and the universities are going to be there to help promote their end of it also. So pretty cool things going in Utah. Thanks.
I'll just talk really loud. So this past summer we had a Tufts meeting in Laramie, and out of that we were able to work with our state association, and then they worked with the state, and they found funds. Now every high school in Wyoming has 3 AEDs on campus. This year we're going to go down just to 1 day for our ACS, and we're going to do it in Lander, and it's another beautiful area, and the Wind River's in the background and everything, so you're just surrounded by mountains up there. It's more along that 7 to 8 for our CEUs, and even though that we just did a suture lab component here, we're going to do that there. And then, like I said, it's going to be a beautiful time of year around that area, so if you guys want to make a vacation out of it, if you're maybe not going to NATA because it's kind of right up against that from that aspect as well, we'd love to have you guys come down and see that part of Wyoming as well.
Awesome. All right. I want to kind of take a bit of a side trip to talk about more specifically our fabulous annual clinical symposium committee that does all the lion's share of the work for this event every year. Currently chaired by Heather Downs, and we'll talk more about Heather here in a second, and also at lunch today. But Heather, this is her final meeting officially in the role of symposium chair. She's rolling off of that committee after, gosh, almost 19 years, and is turning the reins over to the very capable Megan Marquardt, who is not here this weekend because she's getting married. I think that's a valid excuse. So. But helping Lisa do the lion's share of the work on the kind of the logistics, the mechanics, the registration, the setup, those kinds of things. The crew that includes Lisa Chenoweth, Jason McWilliams, Robert Lopez, Sherry Lampin, our exhibits coordinator, Patty Farringer, our skilled registration coordinator, and then our AV gurus, Brad Nelson and Mitch Barnhart. And a quick side trip, we'll talk more about Heather later, who's rolling off. We'll honor her in a different way. But this is also Brad's final meeting. Where is Brad? There you are. Brad, would you mind coming up here real quick, please and thank you? So, Brad, on behalf of the association, on behalf of the ACS committee, what happened to our little TV here? Yeah, It's an AV thing. It's pretty fitting. This is just a small thank you for the work that you've done it's been probably close to 12 years on the committee, right? 12, 13, something along those lines. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And obviously, this event is more than just the room setup, the F&B, and we kind of joke in the boardroom when we talk about the F&B because it's like F&B, not F and B, but food and beverage. It's about a lot of that kind of stuff, but really what most of us come to this event for is really centered on the educational content. And so we have a subcommittee that tackles that job, and this is a heavy, 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 heavy lift. I know that because I did it for a long time. I cannot tell you how much work this crew puts in. So Alyssa Cohen and her crew, Haley Root, Dice Shibata, and Sam Riordan, are you guys in the room? Please stand up and be recognized. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the work that you've done. Yeah, thank you guys. We always do that at this event every year, and it's awesome because the work that those volunteers do, and they are all volunteers. There's no salary for any of them. In fact, we're all volunteers too. We're all just like you. We're just members. But it didn't feel right to just single out that committee. But we've got so many volunteers doing so many things in this association. So if you serve on any committee, if you are a volunteer in any way, shape, or form for the RMATA, please stand up. Please let all of us publicly recognize all of the work that you do year-round that you never get the deserved credit for. So if you are on an RMATA committee of any kind, a task force, a group, if you volunteer in any capacity, if you were a moderator this weekend, if you volunteered at the registry, if any kind of volunteerism, please stand up and be recognized. Let me publicly thank you. Please stand up. Thank you all for the work that you do on behalf of all of us. It's a group effort. We can't do it without that group effort. A few more of our sponsors that I want to kind of talk just briefly about here. Again, a reminder, check your announcements, turn on those push notifications, go to the registration table after the Hall of Fame Honors and Awards luncheon and get your prize, and thank you to those vendors. In terms of kind of some of the awards, and we're going to transition out of this meeting and kind of celebrating in a bigger capacity, the RMATA, as I mentioned, talking on behalf of Tasha, we are fortunate to fund, as I said, up to $14,000 a year in scholarship awards. So these are the awarded scholarship recipients. We announced this a few weeks ago, but Lindsay Murphy from UCCS has been awarded the Bill Lyons Scholarship. Lindsay, are you here? Congratulations to Lindsay, even though she's not here. I know HG and Hannah Grace West is actually a student in my program. She was awarded the Dan Libera Scholarship, which is really cool because Dan's a bear. So congratulations to Hannah. Collins Vinaco, are you here? Did I butcher your last name too, or did I get it right? Fantastic. I almost didn't say something like, what if I did? I don't want to. So Collins from Weber State University has been awarded the Sue Hillman Scholarship. Audrey Cannon from the University of Utah. Audrey, are you here? Congratulations to Audrey. She's been awarded the Toe Diem Scholarship. And then Minsub O from BYU. Are you here? Come on, we're like right next door. How are you not here? So Minsub has been awarded the Arlene Durant doctoral level scholarship. If you know of deserving students, and notice that it's not just students in a professional program, it's students of lots of levels. We have some scholarships that we didn't fund this year because we didn't have people apply for them. If you have questions about the application process, if you have questions about eligibility, if you have questions about anything related to scholarships, please reach out to our Honors and Award Committee Chair, Michelle Gonzalez, who is around here somewhere. There she is in the front row. Come talk to her. We've got money to give away, and we want to give it away. You just got to ask. Pretty simply stated. Michelle is also the D7 rep for the NATA Research and Education Foundation, and the foundation also awards scholarships. And Michelle, to her credit, was not pleased with where D7's sort of award rate was for those levels. And so she kind of put on a full court press to the educators in the district. And this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, number of scholarships we've awarded, at least in recent memory. So Haley Calkins from the University of Utah, Audrey Cannon again from the University of Utah, Leah Merritt from BYU, Ida Maldonado from NAU, Min Sub again from BYU, Moises Salgado from NMSU, Dr. Kevin Schroeder from Bellarmine University, although he's at the UNM, Zach Simmons from Weber State, and then Madison Town at the University of Utah have all been awarded foundation scholarships. So we just want to acknowledge and recognize them. Now, while we're talking about the foundation, and I mentioned earlier that as a board, we made the decision on your behalf to use some of the leverage position that we've got to support the foundation. I'm talking about Athletic Edge again, and yes, that's that same Athletic Edge that gave us 10 tables to give away. They're kind of a super sponsor for us. This big table that's down here in front of us, it kind of sounds funny. They didn't want to ship it home, and I don't blame them. So they asked Sherry, and Sherry brought it to me. They said, can you guys do something with this if we just leave it here? And we're like, yep, we sure can. So get out your checkbooks. I'm going to play auctioneer here for a second. So this table, we are going to auction it away right now. It is a $1,500 table, and I will start the bidding at $20. I got $20. How about 40? I got 40. Let's go bigger. 60 from Rory. 75 from Brad. 100 from Lisa. 125 from Brad. 150. This is a $1,500 table, folks. $200. 225. Where was that? 250? Got 250. Come on. It's a $1,500 table, people. 275. Glenn, you need another table this year? 300? Zach, you need another table this year? I'm going to bully you again like I did last year. Okay. Oh, spend some of Corey's money. Or some of Glenn's money. $500? I got $500 in the back. It's a $1,500 table, folks. It's going to walk out the door today. We're selling it today. I feel like an auctioneer. This is awesome. I need another career path. Heather down $600. $600 is the bid. Wait, did I hear 7? Is that what I heard? $700? Come on, bid against yourself. I heard 7, didn't I? Yeah, I got $700. Come on, we're not even half the market value of this table. You could buy it and flip it. Seriously. Give me $800. Like, I don't mean flip the table, I mean flip it, like sell it. Facebook Marketplace. Come on. We're at 7. Give me 8. Somebody give me $750. 701. Gallegos, you got some dollars. Come on. We'll figure it out. $750 from Gallegos. So, come on. Nope. 800, right? That was 800? 775? Gallegos is going to take it for 750. 775 from Heather. Come on, it's a moneymaker for you. Be an entrepreneur. Wayne, you want it? You're good for $1,000, aren't you? You can take a nap on it. Like, look how comfortable it is, right? You just lay here. That's how it works. Just hang out. Come on. Heather's got it at $775 right now. BYU needs it, don't they? It's the right color. It's the hard sell. I'm just going to stare. It's going to be weird. I'm going to make it awkward. All right. $800, right? No, come on. Seriously? You're going to make me sell it at $775. At least we got halfway there. Bart, you want it? You can get it back to Tucson, can't you? It folds up, doesn't it? David? No? Mark? You need a table, right? No? Okay. 775, going once. 775, going twice. Third and final call at 775. Sold, sold, sold. Thank you, Heather. Thank you for supporting the foundation. That's kind of fun. I kind of like doing that. I should do that more often. I don't need another hobby. All right. I want to announce, now that we're kind of back into the awards sort of area here, our Bobby Gunn Student Leadership Award is an award that's awarded by the NATA to support leadership and to provide support to get to the NATA annual meeting every year. And so the District 7 winner of the Bobby Gunn Award is Wuhan Lee from Weber State University. So congratulations. We do this every year, and actually Bart Peterson brought this to our attention that we don't do it the same way other districts do, and so we might change that again for next year. But if you are a member of the NATA Hall of Fame and you are in the room, would you please stand and let us recognize you? Now, every inductee into the NATA Hall of Fame gets a green jacket that they wear, and it's a very prominent thing when you're at the NATA annual meeting and you watch the green jackets kind of walking around. It's really kind of cool. What I learned earlier this week is that at district meetings, it's common practice for NATA Hall of Famers to wear their green jacket on a designated day at the district meeting. And so we're going to start that tradition here starting next year. Bart has kind of decided he's going to take up the charge and kind of make that happen. So thank you, Bart, for bringing that idea, and we're going to execute that. I think that's really cool because it's just a really cool symbol of excellence, and we want to appropriately acknowledge those folks. Similar to that, if you are a member of our RMATA Hall of Fame wearing one of those really cool special white lanyards, would you please stand and let us recognize you? I just want to point out, apparently, if you're going to get into the Hall of Fame, you either sit in the very last row or the very front row. Because someone who didn't specifically stand up and should have is our newest inductee into that Hall of Fame, Miss Heather Downs. And the last sort of award recognition kind of thing that we want to quickly talk about, if you were in this room on Thursday night, we had a ripper on time like we always do in the Quiz Bowl. A dominant victory from Southern Utah University. From the team scoring perspective, they were the only team that actually finished with points in the positive. I don't know if that's a testament to their excellence or a testament to how hard I made the game this year, but Southern Utah pretty much crushed it. And so the 4 students that are going to be representing District 7 at the NATA Annual Quiz Bowl, 3 of the 4 are from Southern Utah. So that's Maddie Whitman, Anna Walker, and Rachel Smith. And then a 4th member of that team from NAU, Sarah Dethloff. Are any of y'all in the room? If you are, stand up. We want to see who you are. No, they're not here? They're studying. Yeah, they're studying. District 7, to my knowledge, has never won the NATA Quiz Bowl, and I've challenged them. I said we're going to do it this year because, I mean, Southern Utah just crushed it. So they crushed us. They can crush everybody else across the country. So if you happen to be in New Orleans, it depends on the questions. But if you happen to be in New Orleans, check out that event. It's a lot of fun. We are, another way we're leveraging our position, we financially support all 4 of those students to, I told them on Thursday, it's a some expenses paid trip to New Orleans. We don't know exactly if it covers everything, but we give them $1,000 each to get there. And so I think that is some expenses. I'm not sure if that's all expenses paid trip or not. Okay. My last plug on sponsors and vendors. These are the last of our great sponsors. And there was not necessarily a rhyme or a reason to who went first or last or best or whatever. But again, check that announcements. See if you want a prize. Thank our sponsors in one way, shape, or form. The last thing that I want to do before we kind of take a break here and transition to celebrate our award winners and have a great lunch. Tonight, we have our second annual, it's no longer an inaugural because it's a thing now. We've got our second annual RMATA Cornhole Tournament. If you have not yet registered, Jeb, registration is still open and available, correct? Okay, scan this QR code. You'll need a partner. I don't know if you really want to register because Dos Presidentes are going to crush it. That's Jeb and myself. That's our team. We're going to kill it. However, new spin to the event this year, and I'm not sure if we've announced this to much extent or not. Mark Latond, who's the soon-to-be outgoing chair of the NATAPAC, approached me via Lisa to have an idea of, can we kind of create a PAC fundraiser? And so Mark created these really cool bags that you see there on the side with that QR code. And if you happen to have a device that kind of scans QR codes, go ahead and scan that QR code real quick. There's a little button down there at the bottom that says donate or contribute now. Just go ahead and do that and just test it out. See if your credit card information works. Just put that in there. Just see. I don't know. But what Mark came to us with the idea, and kind of Lisa helped sort of flesh out the details, is they created sort of a mulligan program. And so we'll explain all the rules and the details for that tonight at the event. But in a sense, what you're going to do is for any contribution to the PAC, or if you are not capable of contributing to the PAC because you are not an eligible member to contribute to the PAC, you can contribute to the PAC and donate your mulligan to somebody else, like, say, a student who can't contribute to the PAC. You get a mulligan in each round, and the price of the mulligans will go up in each round of the tournament. However, the PAC has created what's called a 625 Club in honor of the 75th anniversary of the annual meeting. So if you do the math, $6.25 times 12 months, that's $75. If you join the 625 Club tonight at the Cornhole Tournament, you will get one mulligan in each round that you are in the tournament. And if you happen to not advance in the tournament, you can give that mulligan to someone else. Okay? So, come to the Cornhole Tournament tonight. Contribute to the PAC. Just a couple of kind of housekeeping items. The next time we will be with you in kind of a public capacity will be in New Orleans at our semi-annual meeting of the membership. That is scheduled to take place on Tuesday, June the 25th at 6:30 p.m. And they are on Central Time. We do not yet know the location, room number, all those kinds of things, because the NATA has not published that, because they're still feverishly working on it, I'm sure. As soon as we know the location, we will certainly let you know that. If you happen to be in New Orleans, please come see us. I hope to share a few more of the actionable items that we're talking about the board. I can share with you maybe some more of the decisions that we made about our position. And then, as you'll notice, as we announced, see it in Casper, not a year from now, but a year and change from now in June, tentatively June 6th through the 8th. As soon as we confirm those dates, we will absolutely blast that across the mountaintops to everybody and anybody. But please, please, please come to Casper, Wyoming. It's going to be a fantastic event, and I'm really excited about that, as you can probably tell. At this point, are there any questions, comments, items for the good of the order? How did I knew I was going to forget that. So grab a mic, Michelle.
Turn around this way. For the NATA Foundation, we had a fundraiser in the exhibit hall, and we're giving away a pair of Power Beats Pros. I got the tickets in here. I'm going to have Heather Downs pull a ticket for us.
Not that one.
Not that one? Sorry. How about this? It is Justin Sagata. Thank you very much for contributing towards the foundation.
Briefly, I just asked President Turk for a quick point of privilege from the state of Arizona, and also being that he was a RMATA Hall of Famer, I would be remiss not to state we did have the passing of Dr. Gary Delforge in this past year, and I'd love to please take a quick moment of silence. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, David. Any other items for the good of the order? Comments, questions, concerns? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you very much. We stand adjourned. We'll see you all across the air wall in about 15 minutes for our honors and awards luncheon. Oh yeah, if you were one of the table winners and you are here present, we would love a group photo for Athletic Edge so we can put it out on the MySpaces of the world.